I've been interested in biology and nature for a long time. When I was a kid, my mom and dad had this Volkswagen bus, and we would drive all over the western United States and go camping. And I grew up in the suburbs, but I saw the contrast of being in an urban setting versus being out in nature. When I got to college, I started really being interested in birds, and that's kind of my passion now is avian ecology. So I've been here for the last 27 years, and I'm a wildlife biologist at the university. I started our wildlife biology program, and it's just been great. Up here in the Slate River, we engaged with the Crested Butte Land Trust about 6 years ago, and they were really concerned about the increase in river recreation. And there's a great blue heron rookery right in that stretch. Some of the people that have also taken a big interest are just some of the private landowners in the Slate River. There's a little community called Wildbird that sits right next to the heron colony, and there's about 5 residents there. One of them is Tim and Cassie Zergat, and they are just really the greatest heron guardians. They watch those herons every day.
I've learned that community and people working together is truly our strongest asset. We can come together and work on something together and solve it together.
They have put a lot of time and energy and effort communicating about the herons to the community here. It does take some support to be able to get a student out here all summer long. So really, really great people, really generous, and we've just been super lucky to have that relationship. And you know what I'm always amazed at is the people that I'm working with, they're ahead of the game. I mean, they want to help because they understand the big picture. Wynn and Ryan Martins, who we're working with up here on their property, this Verzuh ranch, have been incredibly generous and have decided to donate this property to Western.
It was this, how do we not just preserve it, but how do we actually make it an asset to everyone in the community? And that's in large measure due to Pat and the work with the students out here. To make this contribution and really partner with Western is cementing that into the future of the institution so that the opportunities are there and that the future stewards are actually learning in this living lab.
They understand the challenges we have with biodiversity and the decline of species around the world. So I don't have to encourage or convince a lot of these partners to be engaged and to want to make the world a better place.
Having worked with Pat for the last 5 years and really closely for the last 3, it became real obvious that his capabilities were really well matched with what we're doing here. And then after meeting a lot of the staff at Western as well as the kind of the board of Western, we realized it's not just Pat, it happens to run all the way through Western in that regard. And there's just an enlightened group of people leading that organization. It's the perfect steward.
It's in their heart. It's who they are as people. We're just so fortunate to run into them and to get to develop those relationships with them. I'm just always amazed by the generosity, the intelligence, just the goodness of human nature that we run into with a lot of our partners.